Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Friday Night Football review for round 8 of the NRL, where we saw 2 games of football. The Melbourne Storm beating the Cronulla Sharks 40 points to 14, and we saw the Brisbane Broncos come back from 22 points to 0 down to beat the Gold Coast Titans at Suncorp Stadium 36 points to 28. Let me just adjust this camera really quickly. If you guys are new to the channel around here, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. It is much appreciated. Let's get into the review, man. We'll go back to the first game. Melbourne against Cronulla. Not a whole lot to talk about here. Melbourne, obviously a little bit too good, but the game started off very well. Addo Carr getting a long-range try there. They also got a penalty goal early on as well. So it was Melbourne 8-0 early on or something. And then I think the Sharks had a penalty goal as well, so I think it was 8-2 Melbourne. And then Britton Nakora scored a try for the Sharks. And I think at half-time, the Sharks led 8 points to 6 or something. The Sharks were going all right. And then in the second half, far out, like honestly, the Sharks, they were nowhere near their normal selves in the second half. First half, they were fine. They were doing okay, but in the second half, man, they were diabolical. At half-time, Sharks led 8-6, and in the second half, Melbourne scored through Tom Eisenhuth, Connor Kamifa, Remus Smith, Jerome Hughes, Brendan Smith, Remus Smith, and Connor Tracy scored in the end for the Sharks. Look, it was a pretty boring game of football in the second half. Melbourne just did what they did best. They destroyed the Sharks. Now, look, I thought the Sharks, they were in the game for about 45 to 50 minutes, and then Melbourne, they just went on another level. Jerome Hughes, he was absolutely outstanding for the Melbourne Storm tonight. Remus Smith had a great game. Some of the forwards, Brendan Smith had a good game. He played in the middle. He was very good. I thought Christian Welch had a massive game, 200 metres. Jesse Bromwich was quite good. Felix Kafusi was solid. Also, the bench players for Melbourne, Cummer Kamifa, Dale Finucane, they were quite good for Melbourne. Addo Carr was good. That young guy on the boo, Dean Irema, can't pronounce his name, probably had a fair game. Look, for the Sharks, some of their positive players tonight. Will Kennedy had a good game. Connor Tracy tried hard. Wade Graham was, he had a few injuries, but he played okay. And I thought Jack Williams was quite good as well. But the Sharks, man, I thought they were quite disappointing. And I thought Melbourne, they did what they had to do. They got over the top of the Sharks in the second half, and they ran away with a 40 points to 14 win. My top 3 players on ground for this one, I'm going to go number 3, Jerome Hughes, number 2, Christian Welch, and number 1, my man of the match, Remus Smith, scored 3 tries, played his role, did his job, and thought he was brilliant. And the Storm win 40 to 14. Not much to talk about, guys. Like I said, Melbourne too good for the Sharks, and they get the win 40 to 14. Remus Smith is my man of the match. Now, let's get into the game that we just saw. Holy crap. The Broncos 36, the Titans 28. Now, let's go through the game as it started. The Titans started well. Ash Taylor grabbed a kick for Kevin Proctor. He scored the first try. Titans looked good early on. And then Corey Thompson scored. Brimson scored. And then Peachy scored. Titans led 22-0 after, 13 minutes. And then I'm sitting there thinking, this is going to be 50-60. The Broncos look cooked. 22-0 in about 13 minutes. It was looking very bad for the Broncos. And then it all changed. A try to Herbie Farnworth in the 17th minute. Then a try to Jermaine Asako, 22nd minute. And then Xavier Coates runs down the field. And then Jermaine Asako scores as well right before halftime. Halftime, 22-0. And I'm going, what the hell is going on here? The Broncos in the first 15 minutes were completely diabolical. They looked like the wooden spoon team. And then when Herbie Farnworth scored that try, and then when Asako scored that other one to make it a 2-try game, the Broncos were a completely different team. They were reborn. Tyson Gamble, he was, he was bringing a lot of good energy, great vibes. I couldn't believe what I was watching. In the second half, the Titans look absolutely shot to pieces. A try in the 42nd minute to Corey Oates. It was a fantastic try. I thought he did very well. And then Jesse Arthur scores in the 50th minute. The Broncos go out to a lead of 34-22. And I'm sitting there going, what the hell is wrong with the Titans? They led 24-10 against the Rabbitohs last week, and they choked it. And they're choking this game as well. And then in the 68th minute, a try to actually the Broncos kicked a penalty goal. It was 36-22, and then Mitch Rain scored a try that everyone thought was a no try, but the ball got to the line. There was no second effort there. 36-28. The Titans are trying to get some points, but they just couldn't do it. And the Broncos, full time, they win the game, 36-28. An unbelievable comeback from 22-0 down. The Titans, they choked it again. This game is the reason why the Titans will not be taken seriously this year. I said at the start of the year, if David Fifita has a bad game, the Titans won't do anything because their big-name players, besides David Fifita, won't step up. Did you see Ash Taylor tonight? He was completely hopeless. He threw an intercept pass to Xavier Coates. He did a couple of bad things. The only thing Ash Taylor did was set up a try for Kevin Proctor in the first 2 minutes. Besides that, I did not see him all game. Now, the Titans, they have done this 2 weeks in a row now. They're 24-10 against South Sydney last week at Seabus, and they lost that game 40-30. And then tonight, they led 22-0 against last year's Wooden Spooners, and they ended up losing the game 36-28. How do you lead 22-0 in 15 minutes, and then at half-time, it's 22-all? So the Titans, they need to take a good hard look at themselves in the mirror and be like, what is going wrong? They were very disappointing tonight. I thought the Titans would win well, but they were completely embarrassing, and they were a huge disappointment tonight. Now, for the Broncos, they weren't great at, obviously conceding 28 points is never a good thing. But to come back from 22 points to 0 down, it's a great effort. It shows that the players do care. They just need to get it right, stay calm. Maybe it's a mental thing for the Broncos for the last couple of weeks. But tonight, they got it right after 20 minutes, and they got the win, 36-28. Now, some of the players I thought were great for the Broncos. I thought Jermaine Asako was absolutely outstanding. Probably the best game he's played in quite some time. Herbie Farnworth was terrific. Corey Oates had a great game. Tyson Gamble was very good at halfback. His talk and his positive energy, it gave Milford the opportunity to run. Now, Milford wasn't brilliant in my opinion, but he played a little bit better. Payne Haas was great. Tavita Pangai Jr. was great in defence. He was all over David Fifita. His attack was quite good as well. Patrick Carrigan was the captain tonight. I thought he led by example. He had a very good game. I thought Reece Kennedy off the bench was quite good as well. And look, for the Titans, some of their positive players, I thought AJ Brimson was good. Brian Kelly was okay. Moe Fodawaker was decent. The bench. I thought Herman Esiesi and Bo Fermor both did a job. Jamal Fogarty was okay. But, again, Ash Taylor at 5'8". It isn't going to work. If the Titans want to go places, they won't do it with Ash Taylor at 5'8". I'm sorry. It might be a bit harsh on Ash Taylor, but he is terrible. He offers nothing. He throws intercept passes. His defense is ordinary. A lot of the Broncos' tries tonight were on Ash Taylor's side, so defensively he needs to improve, and I thought he was disgusting tonight. I think Ash Taylor needs to be dropped. Maybe give Tanner Boyd a run at 5'8". Maybe give Peachy a run in the halves. Taylor was awful, and he needs to be dropped in my opinion. But the Broncos, a well-deserved win. Congratulations to the Broncos. The Titans, well, they have a lot of things to answer to because they have been pretty terrible the last couple of weeks. But my top 3 players on ground for this game. Number 3, I'm going to go with Tyson Gamble. Number 2, Tavita Pangai Jr. He was all over David Fifita tonight. David Fifita was very, very poor. He went missing. I did not see him once. Pangai was all over him. And number 1, my man of the match, Jermaine Asako. He was absolutely outstanding. And the Broncos win. What a great performance from them tonight. A great comeback. And they get the win. Guys, that's it for the Friday Night Football Review. Make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Well done to the Broncos and the Storm tonight. And good luck to the Sharks and Titans next week. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.